Hello, Nevada Attorney General candidates for 2026. My name is Katie. I am a rape victim. My rapist was the Deputy Insurance Commissioner for Consumer Affairs for the state of Nevada. When he raped me in February of 2024, it's February 2nd, he and I had known each other for 6 years. We had been in a sexual relationship for 6 years. I'd like to kind of walk you through what happened and what the response or lack thereof was. The weird things that happened that I can't explain. That made me wonder what's going on. I get that intimate partner sexual assault is difficult to prosecute. It really is. I understand that. I understand that's why we have put in laws in the Violence Against Women Act, and we have case law. We have NRS 200.373. We have all these things. That's why, because that gets over the first hurdle of, well, you were with them, so. My case is different. It's on video. There were 4 videos made of the incident that night. That is not to say that was the end of the violence in our relationship. That was just the beginning of it. I had known him for 6 years. We had never once discussed or done anything with non-consent. Pain-wise, he wanted to strike me with something like our first date, something like that. And I said no, and he said okay. And 6 years went by, and nobody said another word about it. So that night was different. And I will go ahead and say that the pain aspect of that never happened again. The non-consent aspect did. He would kind of regularly at night. He had a drinking problem. Has a drinking problem, and would hit a certain level of inebriation and would force my legs open and pin me down. He was a wrestler in high school, and he did this thing where he kind of gets his head and his upper body on your mid chest, and you get pinned into the bed. And it's pretty much impossible to get out of. And it's pretty much impossible to get out of when he does that. So, did I try? Yeah, I did. I did try. He would just keep coming back. The videos, just to make this clear, it's one of those things because it's not exactly what you expect. It was not intercourse. It was manual penetration. Manual penetration, of course, being more commonly referred to as fisting. It was something that I had agreed to try. I'd never done it before. I didn't know. But I don't know. When you hear the video, I'll kind of take you a little bit through that night. When you hear that video, that first video is, the first thing you hear is me kind of scream. And then there's silence. It's not a long period of silence. It's a second, 2 seconds. it's a noticeable period of silence when you listen to it. What was happening in that silence? I was trying to figure out if and how I should say no. I have been through a lot of trauma, a lot of sexual trauma. I had a very sexually abusive marriage where I was not allowed to say no. It was not, and it was not under physical threat. It was coercive. It was coercive control. Yeah, and if we all read our rape statutes, coercion is, yes, okay, we're good, right? So saying no was not a thing for me. It wasn't. It was something that I had to work through. I had to think through. I had to consider. So I kind of those moments. I went back and when I listened to it, I was like, that felt like so much longer than that. That felt like so much longer than that. Because I can tell you what I was thinking. Because my first thought was, oh my God, this hurts. Can I handle this? Because that was my first thought was, okay, suck it up. Suck it up, baby. You can make it. Pain doesn't last. The answer to that was no. It's like, okay. Now, if I say no, what are they going to do? What's going to happen? Because I'm in a room with 3 men. What do I do? What are they going to do? I've known these men. I've known Dee 6 years. I've known R 10. I've known Mike for, I don't know, about a month or so. But we were cool. These aren't strangers. These aren't people who would, they're not going to hurt me. They're not going to hurt me. And, I mean, so I started saying no. I said, please stop. I said, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. I was told to shut up. I was told I was being stupid. I asked him not to go any deeper, and he said, or pull it out. I said, I also asked him not to go any deeper, but I said, pull it out. This was the response that I wanted to say. And he said, I'm not going to pull it out. I'm going to fuck you with it. And then he told me that is what my pussy was built for. It was built for that. The night continued. There was cocaine involved. There was alcohol involved. I was not drinking. I was under the influence. At the end of the night, after all the 4 videos were filmed, Dee was very drunk. He was like falling into the walls and stuff. And I thought it would be best to take him home. I didn't want to put him in an Uber because he lived in a high rise and I was almost positive he would not find his door. I was worried about him. So I took him home. He had told me during the second video, while I screamed, that he loved me. Now, I'm going to assume that each and every one of you has been to law school. I think that's a requirement to be AG. Is that seriously not a requirement to be AG? I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to have to look that up after this. Anyways, you've been in law school and you had a class on, sex crimes or whatever. That's Sexual Predator 101. I love you. That is Sexual Predator 101. That is all that is. That is something that you will, when you get in, if you start reading up on trauma science, which I'm working on I'm working on a research project. You will be receiving a book from me once I get the book done. I'm hoping to have it done by the anniversary of the rape in February. But it's January and I'm not close, so we'll see about that one. That is trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is when you have harm followed up with affection, or you are basically drawing the brain chemicals at kind of the same time. You're soothing the pain that you're causing. It's not necessarily a technique. It can be used by people. It's how that happens. It's how the brain function happens. And then it is terribly difficult to pull away from the person who's causing you harm. Because the person who's causing you harm is also the person who is protecting you and soothing you from the harm that you're being. So we had a very intense relationship from there on out for the next 5 months until July of 2024. In July 2024, that is when I sent the video to the Division of Insurance as an ethics complaint against Dee. I had determined in my own mind, that there was no way that the police were going to do anything about this. That had been my experience with the police on other things, that it was really something to where the only thing I've ever really heard from the police was, there's nothing you do. So I chose to send it as an ethics complaint. And I sent it as an email. There's a lot that was going on at that moment. I don't want to go into all of the details. I had something happen where I spoke with a rape victim at work. That's not my job. I did sports recruiting at the time. That was not part of my normal everyday job. And it really kicked in something in my brain, and I went back and watched the video. I'd never seen it. I'd never seen it. I never wanted to see it. I remembered enough about the night that I really did not want to see that video. We were also in the process of breaking up. We were like, there's a whole lot of big bag of drama that goes on to that. There's, he had 2 girlfriends, one in Vermont, one here, it was insane. Like, it was, wow. So there was a lot going on. So it happened the way it happened. If I had not talked to that girl and watched that video, I don't think I ever would have reported it. I don't know if we hadn't been breaking up, would I have reported it? I don't know. Most women who are in relationships where there is sexual violence, they don't report until after. I think I can't remember the stats. I want to say it's like 88%. It's after the breakup that they actually report. I know, looking at legal journals, everything you see on intimate partner sexual assault is usually family law, because that's when it comes into play. Is divorce, is child custody, is things like that. So, anyways, so I sent it. I did it. I did that. Now, here was a little problem here. It bounced back. I told Dee I was going to send it the night before. I told him that he had read me, and that I was going to be writing an email. So when I sent the email to the commissioner of the Division of Insurance, and it bounced back, I was like, okay. He got me blocked. I did send it 3 times to the commissioner. I tried to send it 3 times to the commissioner. It did not go through. So, little thinking on my feet while being emotionally unstable, like completely, I went ahead and sent it to the other deputy commissioners. I sent it to legal. I sent it to the commissioner's administrative assistant, and just to make sure it was not ignored or overlooked, I sent it to employees of D's that one I knew was a union rep, and one I know he had a bit of a personality difference with. I wanted to make sure that they knew. Did I do the right thing? No. Absolutely not. Didn't do it right. I should have gone to the police. I should have. I didn't say it. It ended up in the police. It ended up with the police, though. Because it went from one of the deputy commissioners, the one that ended up with the police, went from one of the deputy commissioners, or the chief deputy commissioner, went from him to HR. HR then sent it to the Capitol Police. The Capitol Police then sent it to NSP investigation. So this is all happening on July 5th of 2024 is when I sent it. July 8th of 2024 is when it was sent to the police. And then, now, between these 2 points in time, that is a weekend. that is 4 days. That is 4 days of Dee telling me that I'm going to jail for, quote, revenge porn. Okay. And I said, okay. I was scared. I was scared. But, okay. Now, Dee and I remained in contact. We would actually remain in contact for another 4 months after this. And I might get to that later. I'm a little upset about that because, somebody should have protected me, a little better. You could have. But anyways, so by the time July 9th comes around, that is the day the police call me and have me come in for an interview. When they called me to come in for the interview, I refused to go. I told them I will turn myself in. It's okay. I need to find somewhere to put my son for right now, because I had a whole thing happening at once right there. They assured me that I was not being arrested. They had the sergeant call me and kind of talk me down, and made me come in. They made some arrangements for me. They actually cleared the entire office for me. They brought in a table and put it by the door, so if I felt the need to just leave, I could. I could just go. Which I really do appreciate NSP for doing that for me. I had some stuff go on with that. So anyways, we went into that interview, and you have to understand, intimate partner, sexual assault, or marital rape, or relationship rape, or however you want to put it. There is no one standardized term I'm finding. That is something you question yourself as the victim. You question yourself. Well, it can't be rape. He loved me. That can't be. That's not what that is. It is, but it isn't. I honestly thought, it couldn't possibly be a crime to rape me. It's me. I'm not understanding any of this. I went in there and I asked the police, I was like, why are you guys involved in this? It was an ethics complaint. Why are you guys here? Why are you guys here? What are we doing here? They're like, it was evidence of a crime. Oh, what crime? And they looked at me like I was crazy. And they said, sexual assault. And I said, are you sure? Are we sure that is what that is? Is that we know that is what that is? Are we sure? Are we positive? Is that? I must have asked 12 times. I still didn't believe it. I still didn't. It didn't click in my head. It was not clicking in my head quite what had happened. I was not fully accepting of it. I did not accept it. You can't rape me. That can't be. That's not possible. We would have a few more of these moments of me just my obliviousness in all of this. The first part of it, I'm talking to them, and I'm trying to, it's not that big a deal, we don't worry about this. Don't arrest me, kind of thing going on. I let them go through my phone while we were talking. And the cop who has my phone keeps, interrupting the discussion and going, he threatened you with murder-suicide. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, he does that all the time. He'd get drunk and say he's going to go get his dad's gun and shoot us both. Why? That's who they were dealing with. Was somebody that oblivious to how bad what they had just been through was. I had no idea how bad it was. I did tell them, watching that video, I had to step back. I had to take a step back and I had to look. And I had to go, if that were my daughter or my sister or my mom, or what would my reaction be? what would I think? And I believe exactly what I said to them was, I'd be after that man if that were my daughter. And that's the God honest truth. I still didn't accept it. I'd watched that video 1,000 times. I was watching it over and over and over and over and over again. And that was not healthy. That was not healthy. I cannot tell you how much it messes with your brain, your everything, to see yourself be raped violently in third person while remembering in first. It is that in and of itself is a traumatic event. That is traumatic. That is, I can't tell you. It's so much worse that way. It's so much worse. I wish I had never seen that video. I really do. But the video's winning. Moving on from that, that was the 9th, the 12th, which was a Friday. I get a text from Dee, who's still at work, by the way. Still the Division of Insurance. He has lunch on Friday. I get a text, and he says, the Capitol Police just removed me from my office. They made me give them my badge, my keys. I'm not supposed to check my email, and I'm not allowed to contact anybody. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry, what? And he's like, they're searching my car right now. Okay. So, they, at the same time, I get a phone call from the victim's advocate. And the victim's advocate tells me they are arresting him. Right then and there. And I was like, again, let's go back to the obliviousness of a relationship victim. I said, oh my God, for what? What are the charges? There is such a thing as a stupid question, let me assure you. And then I said, wait, if he's been arrested, why does he still have his phone? That doesn't make sense. And she says, it's imminent. On the phone call. And he and I are still talking. We're still chatting. We're still texting. We go on texting the rest of the weekend. I cannot tell you the surrealness of my dad had come into town. He's scheduled to be there anyways. For a visit, and my dad had come into town, and I'm sitting at dinner with my dad. I've got Dee, who is supposed to be in jail right now, texting me about having to pull money out of his IRA, and what the penalty would be on that, if he gets fired. And then, and he told me he loved me that night. I needed to be out of that particular toxic mess. And here was the problem. The trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is difficult to break. It is very difficult to break. It is a neurobiological function that just, you can't pull out. You can't walk away. You can't do it. I needed something to sever that. And the relief was, well, when he gets arrested, guess what? We're not going to talk to him. It's not going to happen. We can't because he's going to be facing criminal charges. He should not be talking to me. The man's a lawyer. He knows better. He shouldn't have been talking to me then. He's a lawyer. He knows better. But he knew better, right? Right? So even when he bailed out of jail, that would break it. That was when he gets arrested, it's done right then and there. Monday comes. I talked to the victims advocate. I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? It's okay. It's a jurisdictional issue. Okay. Jurisdictional. Okay. And I assume that it's like something with NSP and Metro, because, that those would be the only jurisdictions possibly involved, right? I don't know. I don't know. That was just kind of an assumption that I made. Tuesday. I'm told that they won't be pursuing charges. He's not being arrested, and they're closing the case. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm sorry, yesterday you were arresting him. And today we're just not, and we're done investigating. And it's just over. Last week, it was rape. It was, you guys were like convincing me it was sexual assault. What just happened? It was just dizzying. It's just, and I was like, and I fired off an email. I'm Melvy. Let me assure you of this. Melvy. I fired off an email and I was like, would you guys like to tell me exactly what it is I would need to bring in next time I'm raped for you guys to do something about it? Do I need like a video and a notarized document saying, like, what do I need here? Just let me know. So next time it happens, I can do something about it. And then they get back to me, and now they want my phone. They would like to forensically search my phone. Okay. I thought about it. I almost did it. I almost gave it to him. I had some, as I put it, videos of more important members of the Las Vegas legal community on my phone. I didn't want to expose, not doing anything close to what's on those videos, not doing anything like that. Just stuff that had been taken, and I can't do that to someone's career for something they're not even a party to. But in the meantime, I'm looking through everything on my own, because I am trying to determine, okay, I got some stuff on here, I am trying to determine that, and I find video 4. Now, what video 4 is I did not realize it was on my phone. I did not realize I did not recall taking it. It is 40 minutes long. I put the phone on the dresser, and it records the next 40 minutes. And in this next 40 minutes, both D and M are doing things. M was mainly penetration with, I'm trying to figure out how to word this legally. Intercourse, anal intercourse, there we go. That's what I'll say. Well, he was, he was directing a little bit. He was telling M what to do. The notable thing about this video is that Dee had told me that the screaming was the party light. That I had stopped screaming pretty much. There are a few moments. I was so damaged from what had happened. My body was so damaged. It would actually take 2 months before I healed up. Before I returned to normal. I was the nails, just the damage that was done. nails were scraping me. I was so swollen I couldn't. He would have trouble penetrating me. That's one he couldn't get inside me. For 2 months. Not that stopped. I mean, he would eventually get inside me, but that's so. I give them this video. And I say, okay, I can't give you my phone. I'm sorry, I can't. That's bigger than me. I can't, but here's this video. Here's the video. Take it. Now, what I didn't realize of things that happened that I didn't know until after I got the police report. Now, mind you, this was July. I did not get that police report until November. I was not given a police report. I had nothing. I had no information except for what I had been told. So I had missed a step there where they had gone to the Attorney General's office. That is what happened that Monday. Now, the funny thing is, I had broken and I had told D on Sunday that the arrest was imminent. I really wanted him to, get his life together, contact his family, make sure he has bail money, make sure he's ready for it. I didn't want it to. Again, trauma bonding, and these are the things that women in relationship rape cases do. This is not uncommon. What I did, not uncommon at all. And sliced. It's pretty much par for the course. So we're then, he calls an attorney, and he tells me that he talked to the attorney offered him a job, and that he was going to, and sent him to another attorney, referred him to another attorney. Upon reading the police report, on that Monday, the 15th, they had had a meeting with Steve Wilson himself. And Wilson had told them that he wasn't going to look at the case again. And they had to go to the AG's office. Okay. So by Tuesday, the AG's office had declined it. And closed it. So when they're asking me for my phone, they're telling me the DA has specifically asked for my phone. But Wilson refused to look at it again and said it had to go to the AG. So I don't know what's up with that. That's weird, right? Weird? Anybody? Weird? Yeah, I think it's weird. So we have the video. The video I am trying to get the detective to take. He will not take it from me. I am saying, hey, I can't give you my phone, but here's the video. He goes, they want your phone. DA only wants your phone. I'm like, but they said they wanted context, because that's what they said they needed the phone for, was context. This is context. This is 40 minutes. This is not a 3 minutes video. This is a 40-minute long video. There's context here. And he tells me it's going to take too long to review. I'm like, okay, well, why don't I make you, like, I'll snip some of it. I'll send you a clip of it. Just look at it and see if it's even something you should bother with. Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, he can't do that. There wouldn't be any context. Okay, so I need you to either take the whole video, take a clip of the video, do something. I want you to look at this video. Please, pretty please, with sugar on top, you know? He finally says, send it. So try to send it. And that doesn't go through. I'll email it. It'll be fine. I go to email it. Email doesn't go through. Okay, it's a huge file. It's a 40-minute long video. Come on. Google Drive. Send it to Google Drive. Can't access it. Well, that's weird. Okay. Let me make you an editor. That'll probably fix it. Let me make you an editor. Send it to him again. Can't access it. That's intriguing. That doesn't make sense that you can't access it. That I've sent this to you 4 times and you still don't have it. What? So I went ahead and made a Gmail account for them. I put it in their drive and I gave them full access to it and gave them the username and password. Okay, the username and password might not have been the nicest thing. And then they said, well, you know, oh, it's there. Okay, cool. So then I spend like the next week asking if they've reviewed it. No, haven't had a chance to do. And then he finally does. And he says, yes, I reviewed it, and I told the sergeant what was on it. And I'm like, what did you tell the sergeant was on it? Like, I'd like to know. And he won't tell me. And finally, I talked to the sergeant. The sergeant says to me, tell me how weird this is. The sergeant says to me that he hasn't seen it, but he's been told what's on it. And what they're going to do is they're going to send the charges up a second time, packaged the same way as the first. And then once they decline it, they're going to send up the second video. Or the fourth video, video 4. Okay, cool. This is sounding very like cloak and dagger to me. Like we're gonna we're gonna sneak it in. Sneak it in. What? Like why? Okay, cool. Okay. I guess that's what we're doing. So it is August 29th. Have been asking what's going on, and they've had it up there. I'm waiting. I'm trying to wait patiently and keep my mouth shut, which I am not good at. I am really bad at keeping my mouth shut. So I'm trying not to tell anybody that this video even exists. Okay, that is where I'm at with this. Is I'm just not going to say a word to anybody that this even exists. The police have it. The police are handling this. The police are going to do this. August 29th, why do I know that date? Why do I know this information? Because it was in the police reports that I received. The only thing that I've ever seen out of the AG's office, the only scrap of paper I've ever seen with any type of explanation for any of this was the DAG saying there are a number of issues with the case and it can't be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and additional evidence will not remedy it. Like, it's video evidence of 2 men raping me at that point. We haven't even talked about the other guy yet. We haven't discussed getting charges on him, right? Right? Um, that's the only thing I've ever heard out of them. They have not responded to phone calls, emails, records requests. I had to sue them for a response to my public records request. They sent 3 attorneys for me, pro se. As pro se, they sent 3 attorneys. Those public records are now expected in at the end of March, which will be 9 months after they were requested. Um, and of course, I don't expect to get them then. I don't actually expect to get them until after the election. Because here's another little tidbit of information. Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I am a trained historian. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. It's just not me. There's explanation for everything. There's this is not that's stupid. I've always said the government's not smart enough to have conspiracy theories. They can't pull it off. Um, they can pull it off badly and get caught. I guess that could happen. I suppose. Um, I I get that police report. Now that police report, by the way, does not have video 4 listed anywhere. There is no record of it whatsoever of video 4 existing. The email from the DAG did just said additional evidence. It did not say what that evidence. It didn't say anything. There's a list of the videos, the 3 videos. There is nothing about video 4. So this made me go back and it is. I'm reading all of this stuff and it's not lining up. Like, why are they asking me for my phone if from the DA if the DA's not? And why is that? Why is this stuff happening? This doesn't make sense. I don't understand this. There's something wrong here. I looked at my transcript from my interview, and there were things that I distinctly remember saying that weren't there. It was weird. It's weird, and I mean, I could be wrong. And it's police transcript. It's right. Of course, it's right. 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 It's there, and then I'm seeing the what got sent down from the Division of Insurance to the police. And do I know this is from the Division of Insurance? No, I actually don't, because the complaint that was sent was on paper with no letterhead and no signature at all. It was just written on blank paper. It was typed up on blank paper. And it said that they were doing a confidentiality thing. I don't remember exact word. An NDA. It was an NDA. Confidentiality something or other. I'd have to look at the paper. So, you guys wrote up an NDA for the people to sign before you referred it to the police. Now, I did a little digging on that one, and did you know that there is a mandate? See, the Division of Insurance is an investigative body for complaints. If they have something that goes beyond fraud, or beyond a complaint to fraud, it goes to the AG. It goes to directly to the AG. It's in the Nevada Constitution that's how that goes. It's in there that is actually anything. It's not just fraud. Mm-hmm. Anything illegal goes straight to the AG's office. So this was actually, it should have gone straight to the AG's office like the moment they got it. The moment they did that it should have, that's what should have happened. Now, the people mandated to do this, one of them was D. So, I mean, it is what it is. And then, so that was weird. So that's how that whole thing went down. Then when that mandate was in place. It's just, there were so many little things, so many mistakes, so many issues with things. And just so many things that were weird to me. That I'm like, something isn't right. This can't be right. This can't be right. Once I got that police report, finally. I mean, that in and of itself was like, why did I have to wait till November to get a police report from something that happened in July? Isn't that, like, isn't that something I was entitled to? Kind of thing going on? Like, I thought. Okay. So, I started my website. I started my website in the middle of the night. I started it because I needed to talk. I needed a place to put all this crap. I needed, I think one of my first posts, I was like, this is where I'm organizing my disorganized thoughts. I was putting it all together. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I still don't know if it's a good idea or not. It is what it is. That December, I also filed an ethics complaint with the Vermont Judiciary against Dee's law license there. He had gone back there because he was allowed to resign and given a neutral reference by the state of Nevada. He went and became an assistant attorney general in Vermont after having to leave his job for a violent sexual attack on a woman on video. Okay. Wow. Now, the one thing I knew is he'd been AAD there before. He didn't get fired until he was general counsel for Department of Financial Regulation, and that was for a huge financial scandal. That's how he got fired from Vermont the first time. But what he had told me about when he was AAG there was that he could get away with anything. Did not matter what he did. He'd get away with anything. And that scared me. That scared me a lot. So I filed an ethics complaint with the Vermont Bar, or the Vermont Judiciary. That is still pending. It is still under investigation. Currently is the status of it. He is being disbarred, one way or another. He has offered to give up his law license permanently in Vermont. And they said it was something to the effect of a no plea. He'll have to sign something saying, I can't defend against it, kind of thing. I'm not pleased with that. As I told the disciplinary council there, that's exactly how he ended up being a member of the Vermont Bar in the first place. Because the state of Florida had let him do that before. And he asked me, well, why did Florida let him do that? And I said, I don't know. Nobody knows. Because they let him have a deal. He just had to give up his license. He's retired in Florida. This man's been doing stuff for 40 years. He told me about when he raped his roommate's girlfriend in college. He was upset about it. He said he had to force her a little. He had to hold her down a little. He doesn't think she wanted to. This man has this is speculative. I'll say that. Speculative. His current girlfriend checks my blog twice a day. When she gets up in the morning, when she goes to bed at night. Now, Dee goes to bed at a certain time. And I know what time that is. And she goes to bed before him. Sometimes she checks in a third time. And it's about 20, 30 minutes after he went to bed. And I've said openly to her on my blog, when that happens, when you come in at that time, I think that he is just raped you. Straight up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think. That has not stopped her from coming in every once in a while. At that time. For the third time of the day. I think she's trying to tell me something. He's still hurting people. I'm not a slush victim. I'm not a slush victim. I wasn't his first. If this were to become public in the Las Vegas area, he was here 7 years. I know there's probably at least one. And the state of Nevada has access to her name because he had her banned from the building. They won't. They now have to go through business and industry to get it. I got to do another public records search or public records request, which is going to take another 6 months, maybe another lawsuit. I have had the Attorney General's office has not responded to me. I've emailed, I have called. I have sent formal complaints. I have sent emails to what is the victims on something or other. There was one. There's been a few people in the office that have shown up on different things, and I've tried, and I've been on this social media campaign for a year against them to get them to answer me. Tell me why I can't be charged. Because see, I met with Steve Wolfson. And here's what Steve Wolfson told me. Steve Wolfson said that he, quote, can prosecute men who rape prostitutes, but you stayed with him. That's not the law. Me staying with him has fuck all to do with any of it. And I can't even begin to tell you the effect that being compared to a prostitute for my rape had on me. I was inpatient hospitalization by the end of that month after he said that to me. I'm still not okay. I've not come back from this. I can't come back from this. I'm fighting. I have been fighting. I have been fighting and screaming since the night of that video. I have been begging. I have been asking anybody for answers on this. Just sit me down and explain to me why this can't be charged. Because here's the problem. I have researched all of this. I have read case law. I have read laws. I've read the Violence Against Women Act. I've read, you gotta remember, I'm a historian, guys. Law, I did 20th century pop culture history. Like, I know how to read law. It's kind of one of my things. It's like, you have to understand what the laws are, what the laws say, how the laws changed. Like, comparative law with history. You've got to watch how it moves. It's a movement of law. It's see the patterns and see what is happening and what the social aspects, what that did to the world when the law changed, how it affected things, what that ripple effect was. So I know my law, and I am not an attorney. I say that all day at work. I'm a notary. I'm a notary public and not an attorney. I cannot provide legal advice. Okay, but I can read. I'm literate, so that's nice. That's a bonus right there, right? There's no reason for this case not to be charged. That job, by the way, that he was offered by the attorney he called, in February 2025, which is when he was never barred in Nevada. He was never barred in Nevada. I know. He said he came to Nevada because they don't do background checks, because he was literally being investigated for the biggest financial scandal in Vermont history at the time he came here. Like, way to go to Nevada. Good job. He was going to take the bar for the job that he was offered the day I told him he was getting arrested, the day before the AG took the case. In February 2025, I heckle, we're calling it heckling because, Aaron called out the counterterrorism unit on me. I'm being surveilled. I have been for the last year. Just FYI. I made an indirect threat. That threat, of course, being that I would come to campaign events. Hey, I'm a registered Democrat. You send them to my inbox, bro. Like, I'm not supposed to come? Okay, oh, whatever. Guys, by the way, I need to tell you 2 mantras. Briefly here. My 2 mantras in this: 1, I'm not crazy. I'm ridiculously traumatized. You can go ahead and whatever they want to tell you, they don't have that information. Guess what? I know what my diagnosis is. You know what my diagnosis is? You know what my crazy diagnosis is? Major depressive disorder and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Those are my diagnoses. I'm not a lunatic. I'm not a schizophrenic. I'm not. I'm really depressed. And I am the sum total of trauma. That's who I am. I'm not coming back I will never come back from this. I used to be a much different person than I am. This is not a lesser crime. This is a real crime. Do not think for a moment, if you ever have a woman in front of you who has been sexually assaulted within their relationship, do not think for 1 second it is a lesser crime. It is more. It is greater. It is so much more insidious. It is so much harm can be done by it. Now, back to February of 2025. I am heckling the Division of Insurance because they pissed me off. Because they pissed me off, so I like to say things. And my things were always like, hey, what happened to the Deputy Insurance Commissioner? Where'd he go? Why are you missing a Deputy Insurance Commissioner? Now, the other Deputy Insurance Commissioner, by the way, by the end of July of 2025, the commissioner and all of the deputy commissioners had gone. They were gone. No news publication, no press release, nothing. They barely mentioned it. Do I think I might have caused that? Fairly sure. Fairly certain that happened. That is what happened. C'est la vie. February, though. They post a job ad for the second commissioner to leave. And that would be the one who filed the complaint with the police. He's the one who's named on there, the chief deputy commissioner. And I go, hey, where did all your commissioners go? They're just gone. Huh? You lost another one. And this time they actually responded. It's on Facebook. And this time they respond. And they say that, the chief deputy commissioner had moved on to a position with the exchange. Cool. And that the other deputy commissioner, wait. Let's make sure we get all the wording in here. The esteemed deputy commissioner for consumer affairs had retired. So I am very sweetly said, I was feeling young. Did you guys have a party? What kind of cake? Oh, wait, there was no cake. He was never let back into the building, was he? That right there, the next thing I know, there is another post on Facebook. And it is a job post for Deputy Insurance Commissioner, Deputy Attorney General for Consumer Affairs. The office that they were directly pipelined to. That was opening in February. It's February for that job. That is when the bar is. That is when he was planning on taking the bar. So the job he was offered with the state once he passed the bar in February. This is all speculation. Oh, and then they blocked me. This is all speculative. Okay, this is speculation at this point. Because I went ahead and did the records request on. I knew when his interviews were. He told me when they were. I know exactly when they were. I know what time they were. I did put that in my public records request because I wanted to know if he interviewed for that job. I want to know who interviewed for that job. I wanted to know who he spoke to there. I have a feeling I'm not getting those public records until after the election. Because I have a feeling that he's going to show up as somebody who interviewed for that job. That's what I think. And I know it's speculative, and I should have had proof by now. I should have. But, we don't do things the way we're supposed to in the Nevada Attorney General's office. We don't follow the law there. We follow, we don't follow Marcy's Law, the 2018 Crime Victims Bill of Rights, where they're supposed to talk to the victims if the victim requests. That one? Nobody's spoken to me. Nobody has spoken to me. They have surveilled my website for the last year. I'm almost positive there's a tracker on my phone that was doing a mirroring. I'm public enemy number one for the Nevada AG's office. They don't intimidate me. Not. You want to do whatever you want. Because see, here's the thing, that what they don't realize, I don't care. What I care about is making sure that the other women are safe. I need to protect them. I need to protect women because they're not doing it. I am trying so hard to change this. This needs to change. This needs to change not just for me. This isn't about me. This isn't about this incident. This is about the overarching issue of how we treat victims of relationship rape. How we really, prosecutors just don't bother. Mine's on video. You tell me the next time you're going to have video of something like that. You're not. You're not. This can really prove a point. This can drive a point home if this done properly. Could be a learning moment, at least for the state, at least for locally, for people, that this is real, this is something that happens to women in relationships, and that we need to believe them when they say it happened. This is something also the aspect of the power and title and my blog post, by the way, on that job thing, which has the direct text between me and Dee that lead me to my crazy conclusion there. That particular one is called Who You Know and Who You Blow. It involves, and there's a text in there, a screenshot of a text from D. He's at a bar dinner with Aaron Ford. His office directly reported to the DA chief for Consumer Affairs if that is something that they would send up, if they had a fraud case to send up. That is where it would go. He was directly connected to the office. You know, I want to think he wasn't that. He's not that important. He wasn't. His department is where they made the money. So there's that. But it's who you know and how you love. So I hope you guys know me now. I hope I get to know you. I hope we can correct this travesty of justice. And maybe use what happened to me to make it better for another woman. I am working on my research project. It's called The Law of Trauma. There will be a new website. I'm building it right now. It is a primer for prosecutors on trauma science, the case law, and laws that are really applicable for relationship rape, and intimate parlor, sexual assault, etc. Those are that, and kind of a handbook, prosecutorial handbook, to how to do that, how to put those two things together. I've got a friend of mine, you'll read about in the blog if you read it. Lawyer Boy is what he's referred to as. He's obviously a lawyer. he's a Las Vegas attorney, and he's going to be working on it with me, or he is working on it with me. And what we intend to do is get this written, get them printed, and then start sending them out to prosecutors' offices all over the country, in the hopes that one day somebody will have gotten a free book and thumbed through it, and maybe we could somebody would get justice. Is this a stupid idea? Probably. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably not a great idea. There's got to be a better way to do this than what I'm doing, but this is what I've come up with thus far. I just want to get them in the hands of prosecutors who would be dealing with these cases, so just send them out. Just go get one in every prosecutor's office. Like, I have in the blog compared it to like Gideon's Bible. It's in the nightstand. Does everybody read it? No, they don't. But sometimes you're going to touch the one person that does read it. So that is the plan. That is what we're doing. So you'll be seeing, I'll probably be adding another Twitter, another whatever. I might add, right? My blog might split into crazy land over here at rapeisrape.org and, professionalism at Law of Trauma. That is kind of the plan for right now. But guys, if you're still listening, hour and 20 minutes into this, which you probably aren't, who would sit here for an hour and 20 minutes and listen to me talk? Sorry. You skipped around. Yeah, maybe you heard part of it. I don't know. What was I about to say? Sorry. Guys, I'm not a crazy person. I'm not going to be. But I will comment on everything. I want to hear from you. I haven't heard from anybody yet. Nobody responds to me yet. The AG's office it's like I don't exist. Aaron Ford was kind enough on Christmas when I responded to his Christmas post to go through and this is funny to me, like everybody else's comment but mine. This is how petty we're being now. I'm asking you guys to acknowledge me. I'm not asking you to support me yet. Acknowledge me. Reach out to me. I'll be reaching out to you guys with emails. Here, probably early next week, you will be getting an email. It'll have my phone number. It'll have my email address. It'll have everything. You can call me, text me, whatever. Morse code. I'm cool with that. Smoke signals, I'm not sure about. I don't know how to read those. But I'm not going to bite. I need to hear from you. I'm very vocal. I am very snarky. I'll help you. If you can get behind just not even my case. It doesn't have to be my case. Okay, I get it. My case has its own little group of horrors going on with it that would be political. But if you can take intimate partner sexual violence as a cause, if you can acknowledge it, maybe acknowledge it in public. You don't have to listen. You don't have to mention me. You don't have to talk about my case. You don't have to. Acknowledge that that's happening. Acknowledge that we need to do more with it. Acknowledge that it's the same. It is not a lesser crime. It is actually a greater crime. Acknowledge us. Let them know. Let the women out there know who are still in this, who might not have they haven't gotten there yet. It hasn't clicked in their brain. They don't know. They don't know. They don't understand coercion. They don't understand the fact that they're being manipulated. They don't see it. They think they're being loved because that's what they're being told that is. And some of us don't have a better frame of reference. Okay? We don't. That is, our frame of reference is so distorted and so bleak that we can't process it. We need to be recognized for once as something different, as something special, as something else. We're not, rape victims of, the masked man on the street. We're not, college-age girls who are getting date raped. We're not, hell, me. We're not in marriages and marital rape. That's not what it is. What are we? We don't know. Nobody recognizes us. Nobody thinks for a minute that what we're going through is somehow the same, but it is. And my video proves that. And again, you have my permission. If you need to use that video or that audio to prove a point, you don't have to credit it back to me. You don't have to mention me again. I might be a little toxic in this, in the election. I might be. It is what it is. If you can do anything to move forward the cause, if you can do anything to make it better for women, if you can do anything, if you can think of anything you can do that might mean that a woman like me doesn't go through what I've just been through over the last year and a half. It's been a year and a half of my life gone. It's just gone. 2025? Huh. Oh, was that a year? I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that part. That was just... I didn't survive this. Just remember that. It's to be a very different person. I didn't survive this. But I'm fighting. I'm fighting with the hopes that one day no woman has to endure it. One day, the institutional abuse that we go through, the being compared to a hooker by the DA, the being voiceless. I can't tell you what that's done to me. You have no idea how much that has harmed me. Just the amount of institutional harm that has happened from this. Like, it was bad enough. Y'all had to do this? Like, come on. So, I hope you're willing to help. I hope you're willing to talk to me. I hope we can sit down and have some sort of conversation about this where we can, you can get the input from a victim of what needs to happen, what we could do, what is possible to do, what is there. I'm making myself an expert in this. I am researching this till the day I die at this point. I'm here to help answer questions. Ask me questions. Ask me. Talk to me. Let's make it better for somebody else.